In the quiet outskirts of Ogbomosho, where the red Yoruba earth glows beneath the rising sun, and tall Iroko trees stand like ancient guardians, a legacy older than memory is about to pass from one generation to the next. The morning mist drifts through the forest, curling around leaves still wet with dew. Birds call softly from the treetops. The breath of nature feels slow, steady, almost sacred. Standing at the edge of the forest is Richard Adebayo, a man in his late 50s. He is tall, with broad shoulders shaped by decades of trekking through the bush. His skin is dark and weathered, the kind that carries stories in every line. His beard is graying and his eyes, deep and amber like the forest floor, hold both wisdom and secrets. Richard is known across Ogbomosho as one of the last traditional hunters, a man whose father and grandfather before him walked these same paths. A living echo of the old ways. Beside him stands his only son, Daniel Adebayo, 23 years old, slim but strong, with curious brown eyes and a quiet seriousness. He grew up listening to his father's stories but spent most of his life in the city, far from these trees. Yet today, something in him feels pulled home, like the land itself has whispered his name. Richard gently lifts a leather bag from his shoulder and pulls out an old hunting horn. Dark, polished, carved with symbols passed down through generations. The horn once belonged to Richard's father, and to his father before him. It glows softly under the morning light, the markings reflecting the warm brown tones of the forest. As Richard holds the horn, the forest seems to pause. Even the wind stills. This, Richard says quietly, is not just a horn. It is a memory, a voice, a promise. They step deeper into the forest, barefoot on the soft earth. The air smells of damp wood and wild herbs. The trees here are tall and ancient, some towering like giants, others twisted from centuries of storms. Richard speaks as they walk. When I was your age, my father brought me here. He told me that hunting is not killing, it is listening, understanding, respecting what the forest gives. Daniel listens, each word sinking into him. He can feel the weight of the legacy settling onto his shoulders, not like a burden, but like armor. They reach a Iroko grove, a sacred clearing where the sunlight breaks through the canopy in golden shards. Butterflies drift between shafts of light, and the air feels warm and holy. Richard stops. My father died in this forest, he says softly. Not in fear, not in pain, but as a guardian of the land. And he passed this horn to me, just as I now pass it to you. He places the horn in Daniel's hands. The moment is heavy. The forest hums with life. Crickets, distant drumming of woodpeckers, the soft crackle of leaves beneath their feet. Daniel feels suddenly connected to something vast, to voices he never heard but has always known. Richard tells him stories of nights when the moon shone so bright that the trees cast silver shadows, of days when hunters walked for hours guided only by the sound of rustling leaves, of the spirits believed to watch over the forest, guarding the balance between man and nature. He tells him of courage, of fear, of survival, of humility. The sun climbs higher, warming the earth. Richard sits on a fallen log, his breathing calm, his expression softening with pride. I did not know, Daniel says quietly, that the forest is this alive. It is alive, Richard replies. It remembers us, even when we forget it. Daniel looks at the horn again. The carvings seem to shift in the light, stories etched in bone, waiting for him to continue them. Richard rises slowly, placing a firm hand on his son's shoulder. This legacy is not about hunting animals, he says. It is about carrying our ancestors with honor, about remembering who we are, and about protecting the land that fed us. They turn back toward the village, walking slowly through the glowing forest. The warm earthy tones, rich browns, deep greens, soft gold, surround them like a blanket. As they near the edge of the trees, Richard speaks one more time. Daniel, you are the next guardian. Daniel nods, clutching the horn with both hands. For the first time in his life, he feels complete. He feels rooted. He feels ready. The forest behind them rustles gently, as if acknowledging the start of a new chapter. And so, the Ogbomosho hunting legacy lives on, passed from father to son, not through force but through love, through respect, through the timeless rhythm of the land. A legacy carved in wood, carried through courage, and whispered by the ancient trees of Ogbomosho.